welcome to episode 3 or part 3 of How to Improvise. Today's episode will be about moving chords chromatically, basically parallel movement of entire chord voicings, and why they're helpful in learning to improvise. First of all, what do I mean when I do this? When I play this, this is a C13 chord. That little thing I played in the beginning. This is a C13 chord. 1, flat 7, 3, the 13th, and then the 1 again. And that's a C13, goes up a half step. Now every one of those things, 1, flat 7, 3, 13, 1 again. But it's a D flat 13, back down to a C13, back down to a B13, down to a B flat 13, down to an A13, down to an A flat 13, down to a G13, down to a G flat 13. Okay, so that's my little... So now being able to do that helps a lot of times when you're just playing a song and you just suddenly need to go from one chord to another. I think in the song I Can't Give You Anything But Love, in the bridge, there's a point where the C7 chord walks down to an A7. And that's a great way to play that little thing. And you can do that. You can do it... So you can use those voicings and just like fiddle around with them as you're walking down, and it gives you more of an improvisational feel right there. But the most important thing you do when you're learning how to do this is to figure out how to move from one of these chords to another chord, and do it smoothly. And moving smoothly from different chord voicings on the piano chromatically is a little tricky because if we take say a D minor 7 or D minor 9, in this particular voicing we have just the root here, the 7th here, the 9th here, the flat 3rd here, and the 5th here. So D minor 9, all those notes are white keys. So that's a shape by itself. And if we move up to the E flat minor 9, suddenly we have all of them are black keys except the 9th. So we have root, flat 7, 9th, flat 3rd, and 5th, and those are that shape, just all black keys except the F. We move up to the E minor 7, and it's kind of opposite. Everything's a white key except the 9th, which is now the black key. If we're on the D minor 9 and we move down a half step, the C sharp minor 9 or the D flat minor 9, we have black key, white key, black key, white key, black key. If we move down to a C minor 9, it's white key, black key, white key, black key, white key. So all these voicings, they have different shapes. So if you're not used to the different shapes, then you're not going to do it very quickly. So when you want to do something like this, a good way to practice this sort of thing is a method that I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's ever done this before. I think it's a very common method with people who increase their technique very quickly. I have heard a variation of it on YouTube somewhere, somebody saying how to learn how to play something very quickly, and it was a variation of what I have always done since I was in college, which is to say, basically I call it the 4-3-2-1 method. And what that means is that as you're learning how to play a chord, say we start with G minor 9, and we work our way down or up the scale. Let's go up the scale. Go up the scale from G minor 9. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you notice, I'm just walking up very slowly. Now here's the thing. That walk up, you may have a hard time doing it the first time if you don't know a G minor 9 voicing, and then you don't know the A flat minor 9 voicing, and then A minor 9, and then B flat minor 9, and then B minor 9. If any one of those voicings is tricky, then you're probably going to have to get stuck even counting to 4. So you get those voicings figured out counting to 4, and then when 4 is very, very simple, you go to 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When that's simple, 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 and you don't have any problems with it, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. When that's very, very simple, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So basically, you shorten your time with simply by counting less numbers. Start with four counts, 3 counts, 2 counts, 1 count, and then when you So if you work on it enough, you can start to fiddle around with just voicings, you know. So this is a simple way to get your hands to move around the piano. Start with counting to 4 on each voicing. See if you can go chromatically up or down a whole octave. And just work those voicings out so you really do feel comfortable with those voicings going. And you can even do it with your left hand because you might need those voicings. So if you can do those voicings chromatically the same way you would do it with the right hand doing those voicings as a chord solo sort of thing, if you can do it with the left hand, then that's a great thing for your comping ability. If you're playing with other musicians, being able to comp is a very good thing. I tend to play so much solo stuff that I sometimes forget that comping is a thing to do. But what was I going to say? I think I was going to say there are many different voicings that you can use. I have one voicing that I was thinking just recently, or this morning when I was thinking of doing this video, I was thinking I've never even thought of doing this one the same way. But it's basically the minor 11 voicing that I've always loved. It's basically you have two perfect fifths. So you get the root, the 5th, the 9th, and then you go a half step above that, and that's the minor 3rd, and you go up a perfect 5th to the flatted 7th and a perfect 5th to the 11th. So there's your. So I've never even tried this, the chromatic thing. So this is a little tricky right now. Probably should do the thing with the there we go, and then these are, you do that same thing, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 when you're good at that, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 when you're good at that, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Then when that's really easy, so that's the best way to like speed up that, and I may have counted those last ones very quickly because I don't want to make this video take forever and ever. Your count to 4 should be which should give you enough time to really comfortably move to the next voicing. So that's a thing that I will suggest as something you can do when you're improvising, or when you're trying to learn more things about improvising. If you are so adept at your chord voicings that you can move them around, if you can move them around very easily, then that gives you one more tool in your toolbox that you can draw on when you're improvising. And if you can use it, I think the last video that I did on improvisation, we talked about, what is the song? Sophisticated Lady. Now here's the thing, this is a G flat 13 chord, F 13 chord, E 13 chord, E flat 13 chord, an A flat diminished with a major 7. I think in the other video I called it a major 7 because of the melody note was the major 7th of the chord, but it's actually a diminished chord with the major 7th. Now here we have an A flat 13 chord, G 13 chord, G flat 13 chord, F 13 chord, B flat 7 flat 9. Here's that minor 11 chord that I was telling you about with the perfect fifths. And you can either call this, well, I call it an E flat 7 sharp 11, or if you get rid of that fifth, you may be thinking of whole tone. Then I guess you could call it an E flat 7 flat 5, right? Or am I making a mistake here? What is it? Oh, I guess it's not a flat 5, because flat 5 gives you the, when you say flat 5, you're really saying it's the whole tone scale, and definitely the flat 9 is not going to be. So we have sharp 11, flat 9. We're not going to call that a flat 5 because it's not really a whole tone scale, is it? Okay, so in any case, that the first voicing, when we do this, so when we do this, that walk down, that first chord voicing is the root on the top, G flat, and then it's these are perfect fourths except for the bottom interval. The root, the fifth, the ninth, the 13th, the third, and the flatted seventh. So everything's a perfect fourth except for that bottom interval, which is a tritone. And then everything moves down chromatically. Now it's the same kind of chord, but we're not putting the root on the top, just the fifth. So we're starting from the fifth down when we do the A flat. 5, 9, 13, 3, flat 7. So that's something to think about when you're improvising. If you can find songs that do something like that, doing your practicing, you know what I mean. Practicing Sophisticated Lady is a good thing to do because it has that chromatic movement of chords built right into it. So if you can, I'm not sure that my voicing is the correct voicing. It's the voicing I always use. But it's if you get used to playing, like chromatic movement of chords, then it helps you when you're like looking for new tools when you're improvising. And that's basically all we got to say today. I would like to say a big, huge thank you to my patrons. If you want to become a patron, that would be wonderful. But my patrons here on YouTube from what do you call it? PayPal and Venmo. And they are Julie S., Skydiver Tanner, Judy Bassett, Carl Edwards, Anssi Rauhala, Rusty Walker, 2A HD Cat, Francis Monaghan, my anonymous donor, and Joe Martocchio. Uncle Andy Guitar Herbst, Philip Merrihew, Stacy Thomas. Wow, that's a low chord, it's a little mushy. Did I say Stacy Thomas? Janet Chung, Frank Terzo, Donna Mitchell, Nowpinion, Iclone Fun, Cassie McMullin, Remain Grateful covers, So anyways, thank you all for watching this little video, and I hope you learned a little bit from the lesson, I guess. If you're not subscribed, please remember to subscribe. And click that bell thing for notification, because I've given up on trying to do a video at the same exact time every single week. It's really hard to do that. Thank you for watching.